eating disorder.
fucked up thing about that whole
The Olsen family?
the Olsen twins. Remember when there was a fucking internet site that had a countdown to when they were 18?
Yes, that was-
I remember that.
So anybody saying shit now that like back then we were much better about this weird shit. No, we weren't.
No, we weren't.
People were fucked up back then.
Well, there's the argument too,
Yeah.
like how
They've always been fucked up.
How adult
Yes.
women treated Justin Bieber the same way.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, nobody cares about that.
That was hilarious.
All those 50-year-old
Yeah.
women that
Yeah.
were like dying over him. Just
Or chicks being like, "Hey, 15-year-old dude," and grabbing his balls.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened.
Literally.
Yes.
But by the way, that's more socially acceptable than
course
it
it
is.
is.
Well,
the
we
other
know
way
that,
around.
Kevin. You don't need to
It's
explain
fucking
it to us.
ridiculous.
That's
This
the
is
point.
why I
that's
said
the
that
point
it
we're
is.
making, Kevin.
This is why I said that it
point to
is
get at.
different. That if a male teacher fucks one of his female students,
Right.
and a female teacher fucks
Right.
one of her
Like,
male
was it
students,
Mary Kay
they are
Letourneau?
different.
Yeah.
It is different.
Yeah.
It's not the same, you know. And I hate it when people go, "No, it's exactly the same." I'm like, "No, it's not." First off, this kid's probably not going to be all fucked up in his head because of it.
Yes, he will.
This chick will.
It depends.
There's a higher percentage chance that she's going to be fucked up or was already fucked up. There's less of the chance over here.
I disagree.
You can disagree, but
we've
that
had-
could be
think
you.
that
Yeah, we've had that
depends on the
conversation
guy.
before.
Yeah,
I was
but
going to
yeah.
say, I think
Depends
that
on
could
the
be
person.
you.
Yeah.
I think that if that would have happened to me and Miss McDaniels,
I mean,
like,
sorry,
hey,
rape is still
I really-
rape, bud.
huh?
Rape is still rape. Doesn't matter.
Technically,
Gender-
statutory.
Gender
rape.
does
Yeah, it's not the
matter
same
when it
thing as rape. I wouldn't
It
call
is.
it the same. No, I don't call it the
I
same
wouldn't
thing.
call it that. Yeah, that would be statutory.
Statutory
rape.
rape is a different thing.
It is
Rape, to me, is kind of a
Rape
forceful
is
act.
Force.
forceful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not always. I mean, there are times like, well, it's still always kind of forceful.
So she's passed out.
Hard
That's
R
statu- yeah,
rape. Hard
that-
R
that-
rape is forceful. You know.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. You're saying it's not the same. Again,
No, I
we've
don't
had
think it's the
we've had
same at all.
discussion,
I don't
but
think it's the same at all.
And again, I think we've already covered that. I disagree with that approach. I think an adult and a child is still an adult and a child.
I understand that, but here, toss this out there.
I don't care about gender with that.
Say that this is 17 and 17 over here.
Uh-huh.
Do you not see that there's a difference in that?
What do you mean?
The 17-year-old girl versus the 17-year-old boy.
I don't.
I do.
personally, I don't.
absolutely
No,
do. I
I
think
think
that's
it's-
absolute horseshit that you would think that.
Really?
I really do, because I do not think that it affects the guy psychologically anywhere near that it would affect the female.
Well, why can't it be flipped the other way then? How come it affects her negatively at 17 and not him?
Because we're not the same.
That there is an aspect of that I
We're not
agree
the
with.
same.
So, but maturity levels. Who do you think is more mature at that age?
It doesn't. I don't.
Yeah,
I
that
don't-
all comes down to the individual.
that's
Yeah.
individual. But I would also say
So
that
you would say it was based on the individual, not the gender.
That's what-
no, not always.
Well-
I think that it's more so based on the gender than it would be
Yeah,
anything
see,
else.
again-
I think gender's a factor.
I think
but
it's
I
a-
do
I think it's the
it
biggest
would-
factor.
I think it does also come down to the individual. I
Yes.
think there's the both.
I think
factors at
ultimately
play.
there, but I think if you're doing generalizations, I'd say generalizations, sex of the.
So you're talking
matters.
statistically then?
Yeah, statistically.
Well, let's pull statistics up for it. I mean, there's
I
no
don't
real.
know- I don't know what you would
I mean,
type
what-
in.
There's
what
no way to
statistic
track
would
it,
be
unfortunately. Yeah, but
who's more fucked up psychologically from the event?
I imagine that's what you have to look up. Is who has more psychological damage when it comes to
See, this is how
statutory
Kevin
rape,
gets all
male
the
or female?
daycare stuff on his
That's why
computer.
we're talking about it. I want him to look it up on his computer more and more.
Kevin's on a watch list.
Eventually, it locks itself down.
No wonder why I have FBI vans out
Chat
front of my house.
GPT just pops up and goes, "What are you doing, bro?
Not again.
What are you doing, bro?"
The tape's not working on that. We can still see you. We can still hear you.
It's like it sprouts its own camera. It's like we really got to get this guy.
But statistically, I mean, again, but at the same time, the statistics are probably going to be off because males won't report it nearly as much as females.
You want to know why? Because they're fine with it.
No, it's embarrassing.
I think that they're more fine with it. First off,
You would be, Shane. You can't generalize it because other people.
no, I'm generalizing it because most males, I think, would be like, not a big
Yeah,
deal.
but you have nothing to back it up. You have your own personal opinion about
And
it.
I've talked to numerous people, and I
Have
think
been
that
raped by their teachers.
no, but I've talked to enough dudes where I'm like, yeah, they would have been fine with
Well,
it
of course they're going to say, "Yeah, that'd be fucking cool."
because that would have been fucking cool.
I disagree. I think a lot of it is about a social stance. on
Look,
it.
like I said, dude.
And a female would be the same way. As, oh my god, I fucked my teacher. Oh my god, no, you didn't. Really? Oh, that's so hot.
I disagree with you. We're not the same. That's the thing.
You believe that a woman doesn't want sex. You believe that a man does.
No, I don't. That's not what I said at all.
Well, that's kind of what you're generalizing.
It's not what I'm generalizing.
You're saying a woman would be more fucked up if she fucked a male teacher that was older than her than a
Yes.
male student that fucked a female teacher that was older than them.
Yes, I believe that 100%.
That has
I
to
think
do
they're
with-
not the
it's
same,
because
Tim.
it's gender.
Yes, I think they're completely fucking different things.
No, it's not.
It's completely different. I think you're absolutely crazy.
No, you're
fucking nuts.
You're generalizing because of your own
Because that's the general fucking rule on
That's
that.
your opinion.
It's not an opinion.
Again, statistically, there's no way.
Kevin's
for you to
finding
Okay,
them.
back it
so
up.
listen to
Kevin's
this. Now,
finding
this is from an actual study.
Watch.
All right.
It just says Tim's wrong in there. That's, it actually
just
says
Tim's wrong.
that.
So,
scrolling across
here-
like a marquee.
so here's just from the abstract. It
The
says
FBI chiming in. No, we really have the
It
statistics.
comes in those little LED lights too, like the fucking like silver alerts.
My phone starts.
It just says, "Tim,
Does
you're
that
wrong."
sound- Oh, great! Got an Amber Alert.
Okay, what did it say?
so it says. So this is from the abstract. It says. Perceptions of child sexual abuse and statutory rape vary based on the gender of the victim, the perpetrator, and the combination of both.
Perspective.
And it's
What? No, it's saying what.
So it says we extend existing research to examine attributions of responsibility and punitive preferences for student victims in student-teacher sexual relationships.
and that's what we're talking about.
Right. And
Females are victims and the males are not. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Well, no,
I'm
no,
not
no, no.
saying they're not victims.
Well,
See, you're twisting my words.
All right.
What I'm saying is it doesn't statistically it's not going to be the same. I don't think the effects over here are going to be the same as over here at all.
But they're still both victims.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't, and I think that the teacher should be punished. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I think that
The
the guy,
negative effects are greater for the woman than
yes,
they are for the man.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
I believe that 100%.
But you still believe they're both victims.
Yes, I never said they weren't.
yeah, no, they're
And
both
I'm
We're
saying-
getting there,
victims.
Shane. We're getting there.
No, we're not getting there. I've never fucking advocated for. No, I think all female teachers should fuck their
we'll
students.
back up this up and you say it's okay
Dude,
on
that
this side and it's not.
That happened in Texas.
Because you said that. You said it's okay here and it's not okay here.
I think the kid will be okay. I don't think the chick's gonna be as okay. I think there's more psychological damage here than over here.
But that's
every
because you're a
time.
misogynist.
It's not. Again, I didn't say that. You fucking cunt.
So, as far as what I'm seeing here, it does say that women do have more often have more psychological trauma
Weird.
Carry on.
than
does
male respondents.
Is the scroll coming up yet?
No, I want to know what I mean, granted, it's
Now, the thing is, though, it's very hard to be exact on this because it really does come
course.
down to the individual.
Yes, but I'm speaking in
more
generalities.
often it's the women that are
you're
more
speaking on how you would
psychologically
behave
damaged.
if the situation.
I'm not
were to
saying
happen
me.
to you.
I'm saying in general.
He's
I
saying
think guys are
generally-
not going to get as
generalized.
fucked up out of it as a female would.
And it seems the studies suggest that.
Studies from what website?
Well,
again?
these are multiple.
Shanesright.com.
He typed it up last night.
Tim'sWrong.org.
It's a pay site too, so you're gonna buy in.
Yeah, they had a paywall. I had to buy the year membership.
that would be hilarious if I set this all up last night. I'm like, we're going to get into this
That'd be
conversation.
very good on you, dude. If you can actually control
but
a
as far
conversation
as
to
I
that
can
point.
tell-
I email Kevin. I'm like, hey, dude, I've got the before scenes. Put this at the beginning of the show so people put it right after.
So
this
I've
conversation.
looked at the conclusions of 3 different studies, and they all seem to be similar in their
Yeah, which
conclusions.
that's why I'm saying it. They're
Yeah.
not at all the same thing.
No, it's not the same. And
I'm not saying they're right.
No, and some of the men were psychologically traumatized, but it says
Yes.
more often it's
Yeah,
the
and
females
that's
that are
that's my point. I don't.
psychologically traumatized. Yeah.
That's why I don't look at it as the same
Are
thing.
you looking
Right.
at the Psychology Stack Exchange? Is that what it is, or Sage Journals? Or
No, one of them is from Sage Journals, and then one is from the NCBI, and then I had another one up here from.
Now I think when it gets to younger and younger kids, it's more
Healthy
similar.
Place.
I think the younger the victims get, the more similar it becomes. Right?
Yeah, there's a large
Sure.
body of evidence that heavily political opinion. So there's a political opinion
It's not a political opinion.
with very scattered actual references to
Well,
data that could link into and not. Yeah, this is going to go.
Like
to
I said,
stuff.
it's not a simple
No.
conclusion,
But-
but we're just looking at
I just think logically based,
Yeah.
you would probably come up with this assumption
we're-
anyway.
and we're looking at generalities here,
and that's all I'm
based
saying.
on-
I'm
yeah.
not going on specific
Yeah,
studies
yeah.
And
or
if the age
specific
thing
people.
is different.
Well,
let's
obviously,
back it up
yeah,
instead of
when it
saying
comes to age-
17 and saying 15 or saying 14.
I
or
still
saying,
think 15 and 14, the guy is probably going to come out better. I think as you get younger than that is when it becomes more similar.
Yeah.
I think the younger the victim is, the more similar they're going to have
Yeah,
weird
okay.
I
outcomes.
think that's
Yeah.
probably
Okay,
true.
so
yeah.
We're
But
getting there, Shane.
We're
I
not
think
getting
it's
there. I gave a very specific one. It said 17 on each of them.
Yeah, but I
first
think
off,
it's-
I've watched that happen,
and
not
from
literally
a lot
in the
of
room,
these
but
studies, they're
one of my
dealing with
teachers
older.
took
they're
off with
dealing
some
with
chick.
older.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing with these studies. They're dealing with people 15 and
yeah,
Yeah,
because
at
that's the
the
most
same
common when
time,
it comes
though,
to that.
you say-
Otherwise, it's molestation,
Right.
Which is a
which
totally
is a
different
totally
thing.
different argument.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but back to the 17-year-old thing, though, leaving with a female student and a male student, right?
Yeah.
You don't think either are going to see it as a boastful thing that they're going to boast to their friends
Oh,
about?
I think that some of them will.
Some
absolutely.
will. I think
I'm
that comes
saying
to
in
the individual.
generalities. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
specific cases. You
Yeah.
seem to be missing that point.
Well, and then what I'm going to reiterate, or not reiterate, what I'm going to approach then is
Okay.
the person that the 17-year-old female doesn't want it, but the 17-year-old.
I didn't say that.
It doesn't mean that the boy
I've
will
never
want
said
it.
that.
It just
because I
means
think statutory rape is
individually.
not the same thing as
So
rape.
where's the psychological damage then? What can you specifically say psychologically damages the male
Because
over the female, or the female
That
over the
because-
male?
well, that
guy-
comes down to the individual.
I think guys are more likely to think of this as a conquest
Yeah.
than a female would.
Why?
Why? Because that's how
of-
guys
well,
think.
That's how us
Women
guys,
aren't competitive when it comes to sex.
No, because
mean-
have you watched? Okay, have you? What is
Yeah,
that
see,
fucking?
I think
What is
it
that
depends-
podcast? What is that podcast? Is it called Whatever or something like that?
Oh, the Whatever podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They talk about this all the time.
Yeah, they do.
They go, hey,
It's actually not a
so
bad
if body counts.
So
doesn't-
for women,
wait,
it's-
just
what's
one
the
second.
negative?
So if body counts don't matter, then what's your body count? They ask women.
Yeah,
this.
they do.
And none of them want to answer.
No.
None of them.
They lie usually.
None of them.
Okay.
Not once.
Because body count does matter.
Because it matters. So what I'm saying, and for a guy would be like, yeah, I fucked 200 chicks.
yeah.
But that's. I think
It's more of a
that's more-
boastful point
well,
for
that's a
men
social
while it's
construct,
not.
though, isn't
but
it?
it doesn't matter.
Yes and no.
I think it is. I think it's more of a
I-
social
We're talking
construct.
about-
I don't, because if you look at the evolutionary psychology of humans and you go back long
Actually,
enough,
I think he's
this
right on
actually
this, on some
correlates to what happened a long time ago when we were in smaller groups, and the female would be not just shunned by all of them, and it's not just a social thing. It's because when a female has a baby, she wants to have that provider, and if she's known to fuck everybody there, nobody's going to be that provider.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just it's also a thing that
it
she's
comes-
not going to have
yeah.
anybody watching out for that kid. She's not going to get the food. She's not. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you
'Cause
got to
the
remember.
male used to go out and fucking.
you got to
do
remember,
that.
we humans, we work on biological and evolutionary triggers that we don't even notice.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
And that's that. I forget what book that's out of too.
Oh, there's a lot of books
Well,
that
yeah,
cover
but there
this
was a
stuff.
specific one I was thinking of. I cannot remember the name. I'll have to find it. I'll read it once.
Well, again,
But no, he's right about
I'm
this
just curious what the
because-
psychological damage specifically is for a female than it is opposed to a male.
I think more so. I mean, it's that Scarlet Letter thing. You
Yeah.
know, it's the same. It's
I
a
think that's
similar
an
thing.
aspect.
And
But
if
they're
it gets
both
found out,
consenting. Are you saying they're both consenting?
We're talking about.
I would say generally.
we're
But
talking about if they were consenting at the time.
Also, I think guys are more coercive when it comes to trying to get a female to fuck than on the other end.
And I think with you, because you open that with I think, it's because I
Again,
think you believe
that-
that a woman doesn't want it.
No, but
That's not what I
again,
said.
That
You're
comes
saying
down.
that.
We're talking about things that
I'm
come
not
down
saying
to an
that.
individual level.
Then why would a
because-
man have to be coercive and not a woman?
Because a woman can have sex with whoever she wants, and a guy can't.
That's true.
That's
Men
real
do
life.
have to work at it more.
That's real life.
Come on, dude. There's actual
And if you don't
studies
believe that,
prove
then I
this.
don't know who I'm talking
there
to.
was a movie a while back about the guy who wrote those sex books about a male and a female. Remember that?
Oh, men are from
Men
Mars.
are from Mars, women
Women
are
are
from
from
Venus.
Venus.
shit.
I think it was prior to this. This is back in the 60s, maybe.
Are you talking about Kinsey?
Kinsey? Yeah. And then remember,
There's
he wrote
a
the book about
spectrum,
this,
blah, blah, blah.
the male sexual spectrum. That book came out and was phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
And then he did the same research for females, and it was shunned, but it was actual data. It wasn't him making shit up, but that book got him like basically barred from everything.
Well,
because
there's
he
a lot
was-
more to it. He
was
did a lot
providing.
of fucked
Yeah, I
up
was
shit.
gonna say because there's a lot of
He was providing real data.
But
though.
the thing is,
Yeah.
though, I think that the data that's come out since then has kind of disproved some of his stuff.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but what I'm saying
And that's
is,
how science works, and that's fine.
He was involved in some pretty shady
it's
shit,
my
too.
belief that women are just as much sexual beings as men.
I don't-
And when
I-
you
Well,
say,
Well,
when
look,
you
I'm
say
not
that,
saying that that's not true.
now what I'm saying about let
We
me
all
give
are.
you some agreeances on this because I do believe that a man has to work harder when it comes to having a sexual part than a woman does.
Of
right?
course.
Yeah.
But that's also because men will fuck anything that moves.
Yes, Tim. That's kind of my point.
Right.
Right, but that's
But a woman, she's
That's
selective.
Why do you think that
Right.
the kid
So
over
if
here?
a woman is selective who their sexual partner is, why would it be a negative thing for her to fuck her selected partner as opposed to a male being fucked by an older female teacher
nobody's saying
that will
that.
fuck anything?
because that's
The choice has both been made for them that they want that, right? Would you agree with that?
it depends.
Well,
that's
that
where
all depends
yeah,
on the
I would say
situation and the individual.
We're talking about statutory rape here.
yes.
Right.
So that's an age thing.
I think that there's more coercion over on this side, where the male is the perpetrator, than on the side with the female.
You don't think the female teacher is a perpetrator?
Oh no.
You're
again-
twisting my words
again,
every
no,
time I say
again,
something.
That's how I approach
no,
it.
Well,
yeah, I know.
again,
You
though,
go,
this comes
hey, how
down
do I
to-
gaslight you as much as
Well,
possible?
It's not gaslighting.
It's
Again,
gaslighting.
no,
That's
but
what
me
gaslighting
attempting-
is.
We're
It's me
talking
attempting to find-
generalities. We
Yeah.
can't. Individual cases. It may be more.
Yeah,
She
you
may,
have
the
to know
woman
what-
may have been more coercive than in other cases.
Yeah, you have to know what the actual evidence is
And
in
vice
each
versa.
case. But when
Yeah.
you're talking about generalities, you cannot go into those specifics.
To help the argument? No.
It's harder to go into specifics because
Specifics
of one
have to
case.
be- we have
Because
to
you're
be
now
talking
talking
about
about more
individual
outlier
cases.
stuff,
Yeah.
things
Well,
that things that are further
I'm
over
talking
on one
the
side or the other.
generalities of the human condition.
No, you're not. You're actually
I am,
bringing up
when it
very
comes to-
specific
no,
things.
I'm talking about a
but you're
male human
asking
condition and a
questions that come
female
down
human
to more
condition.
individual.
Yeah,
cases.
you are asking more individual. I think that on this side, there's definitely going to be more coercion. That's just because in general you have to be more coercive or have a better.
But consent.
I'm not saying there wasn't consent.
But that
I
consent,
don't know.
that
that's
consent
that's,
may have
that's,
been coerced.
That's also very.
Okay, so let's
also very
let's
specific
phrase it
too.
this way.
No,
Let's phrase it
but
this
Tim,
way.
that's
then.
also very specific too.
Let's
Yeah.
tie consent into both situations.
Why?
Why not?
But the consent could have been coerced.
That's the thing. Now you're talking about very individual situations versus the generalities of it. I'm talking about very general stuff. Very general. That if there's a 17-year-old and a teacher over here and the 17-year-old's a male and the 17's a female over here, that they are different things because
The
of
damage is different.
I would say so, yes, because the damage is going to be different between male and female anyway on general.
Yeah.
In a specific situation, it might be even more different than you would think, or less different. They might be the same.
Yeah.
But
I'm of it that they're
that
the
comes
same.
down to the
I disagree that
individual
they're the
level.
same at
Yeah,
all.
I know. We've established that.
I mean,
I'm still trying to
Me
play
and
my
Kevin are
part.
on the side of reality, and you're sitting over here on the side of we're all the same.
No, who's
We're not the
gaslighting
same.
now? I mean, that's basically what you're
That's not
doing.
gaslighting.
Yeah,
That's more of a red
saying,
herring.
Yeah.
That's a red herring.
All right. Well,
You're gaslighting.
I'm not gaslighting because I'm not at all saying either of you are crazy. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to propose different situations to help my
Well,
case.
yeah, but like I said,
No,
when you
and
get
I
into
get
the
that, but-
specifics, it's
Yeah.
harder. Then it's more.
Then we
onto
have
the
to look-
individual.
we have
That's
to look
how
at
I like to
individual
look at
cases.
it. If
But
you look at it a broad spectrum,
You have
even
to look
then-
at it.
No,
That's
you
a problem,
don't.
though.
But
You
in
do,
this argument,
because-
he's talking
'cause-
about
Because
broad
if you don't
and
look
general.
at things in a broad spectrum, then you start going, well, there's definitely people that don't have arms. And it's like, well, yeah, of course there's people that don't have arms, but they're on the outliers. The
So the
outliers.
17-year-old male doesn't have arms,
He doesn't have arms.
and the female does.
Yeah.
So
Now-
who's going to be psychologically damaged more there?
I
wanna
guess
get into it, let's
I guess
get
it
into it.
depends. It depends.
I think
on
the
how many
no-armed guy is
positions
going to be
and-
happy that somebody paid attention.
Yeah.
In his
Yeah,
dance.
I think this guy's gonna be
He's just
fine.
happy to be involved, right?
He's being used as a dildo because he's in that shape now.
No, I think we can both agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, and that's
'Cause
fine.
We're not going to get anywhere with it. but-
I just think that it's crazy that you would think, and yes, I'm calling that crazy
Well, and look,
thought.
look,
Well,
Tim.
that's what I
On
mean.
on,
But-
on individual levels, Tim, I do think you're making good arguments. But,
Yes, but
when
on-
it comes down to the
Yeah.
generalities, though, a more general perspective, I think Shane's a little more in the right when it comes to just
I'm not trying
general,
to. I'm not
you
trying
know.
to win you over, Kevin.
I know you're not.
You're fucking France.
I'm
dude.
saying.
I gain nothing by your approval of.
Kevin's
You
like-
don't need to.
Kevin's
I'm
like-
just watching the argument.
Kevin's like, when I come down off this fence, my pants are still going to be up there.
That's what I mean. It's like, that either helps or hurts.
I know.
He's like, just so I can slip back in and go over the other side.
But we're talking generalities, and in generalities, Shane wins.
Yeah.
You're saying that
But I'm-
a
that's all I'm
17-year-old
talking-
female is affected negatively more than a male.
I would say so, yes.
More
in-
often.
in general.
More often.
In general,
yes. And the studies seem to show that.
No.
They do.
They do.
The
You
studies
just pulled up
I just
three.
pulled
But
up
I
three.
just pulled up 3 that were opposite.
No, you pulled up one and looked at one.
No, again.
Oh, we're going to fight.
But the thing is, though, it
No,
comes down now.
again-
These studies, you have to look at who did they examine, how many respondents, how what did they do in these studies to come to these conclusions.
I want to say to go same sex and see how the effects are there.
Now that
I'd say
could
that's
be
probably
that might
usually
be. I think that'd be
flipped,
a different
isn't it?
thing.
it might be.
Might be.
I don't know.
Psychological damage probably flipped.
It's possible, yeah. I would
Because
say
the
that's
consent is less on the male on male. Would you say?
I don't know
it's
because
a-
it depends.
that one. It's tough. If you're talking about like teacher student,
Yeah.
it might be very.
Well, look at
consensual.
someone
But
like
if you're
Milo
talking about
Yiannopoulos
somebody
who
that,
who thought he was the
well,
predator
that's
dealing with
that's
the
also a defensive mechanism.
I know it
too.
was. I'm just making.
So
I'm making
yeah,
a joke. But
no, but you're right. That yeah, I mean, I'd say that in the same sex, it might actually be, and it could be that they're very, very similar in that.
yeah.
You know what I
Could be.
mean? That one is, I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about because that's not the normal version of it.
You know what? It'd be really awesome to have a female perspective on this.
Oh,
You know
well,
what
I think we
I mean,
do.
it
It's
would.
you.
Oh, is my vagina showing?